Hello. In this video, I'm going to show how you can integrate Odoo with GitHub using OCA modules. For your convenience, I have also created a blog post with all the code snippets and module names so you can check it later. Now, let's start from the very beginning and install the module. So, first of all, let's activate the developer mode because we will need it to update the app list and also to configure the settings. They are not available without the developer mode. So let's go here first, update the apps list, and I remind you that you can get all the app names in the blog post. Now remove the filter and type pull request and endpoint. Now you see we have several models, and we actually can install this and this one because all the dependencies will be installed automatically. Click here and click Activate Modules. Okay, so now when all the modules are installed, we can start with the app configuration, and let's start from project. Let's pick this project as an example, go to its settings, and select the stages where pull request will be required. So it will be done and done, because we have different done for different projects, and also default pull request state. It will be automatically set when you copy-paste pull request URL in the project field. Let's set it to open. And here is some hint. So you can define the default state for all projects. So it will be a mandatory value for all projects in the general settings. Okay, so now when we are all set with projects, let's continue with endpoint configuration. Go to settings, technical, scroll down to the very bottom, endpoints. And let's create a new one. We'll call it GitHub. And the endpoint will be also GitHub. Root group, let's leave it blank for now. We don't need it. Exec mode, execute code. Execute as user. Mitchell admin, you need to pick a user that has enough access rules to the project app. Then auth type is public. Don't panic here because we'll check the password inside the code. A request mode is post, and GitHub will send us JSON. Now switch to code and copy paste the code from the blog post. Okay, so you will need to change this GitHub secret and put your own one. And also, for the sake of testing, we are using just these events, but you can definitely modify this code and adopt it to your needs. Okay, save it. And we need to sync the registry to ensure that the endpoint is working. So click sync registry. And I would also recommend to restart the server, and I will restart it just to ensure that endpoint is working correctly. So we have finished with Odoo configuration. Now let's configure GitHub. You can configure a webhook for the entire organization, but during the tests, we will be using a single repository. So let's go to settings, select webhooks, and add a new webhook. Okay, our URL is our instance URL plus the endpoint. So it's GitHub. Content type is application JSON. Secret, let's pick it from our endpoint code. SSL verification, highly recommended, so yes. Events, actually, we can pick just pull request, but during the test, let's send everything. And add webhook. Okay, our webhook is added, and you see here's a green checkbox which says, okay, your webhook is working fine. So yes, content is being delivered. Okay, so webhook is configured as well. Let's create a new pull request. And for testing, we'll simply modify this file in place. Let's test it and create a new pull request. Yes. Now let's copy the URL of this pull request and insert it in some task. Let's say here. And you see, pull request state is set automatically to open, which means that we all set here. Now let's try to modify this pull request. For example, let's say not ready to push it, so let's convert it to draft. And what should happen here? I will refresh this view, and you see pull request state is draft, and it's been automatically updated to draft by the webhook. But we can do even more using the power of Odoo automation. So let's create an automated action that will automatically update the task stage and also set all the activities. Let's go to technical, automated actions, and create a new automated action which will be triggered by the pull request state change. Update task on PR state change. Model will be task. We will trigger it on update, and fields will be PR state. We need to execute Python code, and we will just take the code from the blog post. Okay, now let's save it. Go back to project, find our task, and let's settle an activity. It will be to do for Mitchell admin, and let's say merge it. Okay, so the activity is scheduled. Now let's go back to GitHub and merge this pull request. So first of all, we need to put it out of draft. It's ready for review, and let's confirm merge. Okay, perfect. Let's refresh the view. And you see our task is now done. So this is how it works. You can definitely modify the code and adopt it to your own needs. I'm using Odoo 16, but you can check if those models are already available for your Odoo version. If they're not yet, well, this is OCA, which means that you are welcome to contribute. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments or contact me directly. Thank you for your time, and let's make the OCA greater together.